Hi, everybody. Well, tonight I'd like to read to you the Beatitudes, but I'm going to read to you from the Message version of the Bible, which is Matthew chapter 5, and it's titled, You're Blessed. When Jesus saw his ministry drawing huge crowds, he climbed a hillside. Those who were apprenticed to him, the committed, climbed with him. Arriving at a quiet place, he sat down and taught his climbing companions, and this is what he said. You're blessed when you're at the end of your rope. With less of you, there is more of God and his rule. You're blessed when you feel you've lost what is most dear to you. Only then can you be embraced by the one most dear to you. You're blessed when you're content with just who you are, no more and no less. That's the moment you find yourselves proud owners of everything that cannot be bought. You're blessed when you've worked up a good appetite for God. He's food and drink and the best meal you'll ever eat. You're blessed when you care. At the moment of being careful, you find yourselves cared for. You're blessed when you get your inside world, your mind and your heart put right. Then you see God in the outside world. You're blessed when you can show people how to cooperate instead of compete or fight. That's when you discover who you really are and your place in God's family. You're blessed when your commitment to God provokes persecution. The persecution drives you even deeper into God's kingdom. Not only that, count yourselves blessed every time people put you down or throw you out or speak lies about you to discredit you and me. What it means is that the truth is too close for comfort, and they are uncomfortable. You can be glad when that happens, even give a cheer, for though they don't like it, I do. And all heaven applauds. And I know that you are in good company. My prophets and witnesses have always gotten into this kind of trouble. The book I'd like to read to you tonight is called The Catawampus Cat. It's written by Jason Carter Eaton and pictures by Gus Gordon. The Catawampus Cat arrived early on a Tuesday morning. Slightly askew. At first, no one noticed. The town was a busy town, and the people were busy people. Tick, tick, tick went the town. Talk, talk, talk went the people. This is how it was every day, even Tuesday. The first to see him was Mr. Grouse the grocer, who tried to straighten him, to no avail. "What's with that cat?" asked his wife Lydia, who hadn't said a kind word to him in almost 20 years. "You're asking me? He must be hurt, or curious, or noticing something." So they both tilted their heads and noticed something. "That's where my wedding ring has been," cried Lydia. "I haven't seen it in 20 years. "You know," said Mr. Grouse sweetly, "from this angle you look exactly like you did the day we first met." And they kissed, and on walked the Catawampus Cat, still askew. And the cat was spotted by a bored town barber, Bob Long, who was giving a woman a long bob. As he stared at the catawampus cat, he tilted his head and snip, clipped at an angle. I love it, shouted the woman, and on walked the catawampus cat, askew as ever. And past a house painter who was busy painting the mayor's house. What a dull, uncreative job, sighed the painter as he watched the cat walk by. It wasn't until he looked up at his work that he realized he'd been tilting his head. Brilliant, exclaimed Mayor Meyer, a work of art. When Captain Whizbang, the town daredevil, saw the catawampus cat, he missed his jump over Dead Man's Gorge, but landed instead in a geyser and set a new record for height. When the town librarian, Miss Reed, saw the catawampus cat, she pulled the wrong book off the shelf, How to Build a Boat, and then quit her job and set out for an adventure. Even Bushy-Brow Williams, who always sat in the back of the classroom and never noticed anything, like what time it was or when class was over, he noticed the catawampus cat and discovered that he could see better than anyone if he just looked at the right angle. And Bushy-Brow's Williams set off a chain reaction. Some people began to talk and then to tilt, first their heads and then themselves, just like the cat. They rebuilt all the houses so they were leaning and made all the cars off kilter. They spotted prized possessions they thought they'd never see again and rediscovered old friends they thought they'd never know again. Everyone was happy and slanty and catawampus. Tick-tock, tickety went the people. Tock, tockety tock went the town. Mayor Meyer decided to name the first Tuesday of the new year Catawampus Cat Day in honor of the remarkable cat. They all gathered in the lopsided town square and threw confetti at an angle from their uneven stage. Oompa, oompa, blared the off-key band as the catawampus cat walked onto the stage and stared out at the town, now completely catawampus. Well, what do you think of it? Asked Mayor Meyer excitedly. We're all different now, just like you. Everyone held their breath as they waited for the cat's reaction. Slowly, thoughtfully, the catawampus cat blinked twice. and stretched and straightened himself out. And walked back out of town, once again, uniquely catawampus. So it's just like with Jesus and the Beatitudes, he taught us how to live differently. That's what he wants for us, to live differently than the world. Just like this catawampus cat taught that community, that town, how to live differently, how to look at things differently. And Jesus really taught us how to turn the world right side up, not upside down, because it's already upside down because of our sinfulness. But Jesus taught us how to put it right again. It's like the catawampus cat came into town and he taught people how to live differently and to look differently and to be different, to really be themselves. And that's what God wishes for each of us. Sleep in peace. God is awake. Good night.